All right, thanks, Paige, for coming on. Tell us what we got to know.
Well, there is so much fear. Well, let me back up. I'm Paige Zecher with Movement Mortgage. I used to be a realtor and sold with Bonnie. She and I have worked together and been friends for a very long time. So even though I'm a lender now, I come to the real estate market, and what I bring to the transaction is a totally different perspective because I've been in your shoes. And I look at the market data differently. I'm listening to different experts, and I just think I'm able to help reiterate what it is, those conversations that you're having with your clients. Would this help anybody to show this to a buyer?
Yeah, the devil's advocate of that is they'll say there's maintenance and cost and upkeep and that kind of stuff, but it still isn't going to come anywhere near 100.
It's not $157,000 though.
But that's what a rental brain is going to think.
You know what? And we've already got factored in that net number, maintenance and repairs. So that's already in there. Okay, so let's take a look at that. If we add in here 8% year over year increase, here's this number. Their break-even point is 3. Let's put in 14%. It's only 1 year or 2 years before they're at break-even. I want to show you one more thing. I'm beginning to see, and Bonnie's stats are showing this too, home prices are beginning to come down, or at least list prices are coming down. People that have been in the market, agents that have been in the market less than 10 years have never experienced a buyer's market. Really have not seen sellers negotiating on price, sellers paying concessions. So I just wanted to share with you, and I'm doing a lot of education with agents that I'm working with in other parts of the country where I work. And I wanted to show you a side-by-side comparison of a buyer paying full price with no seller concessions versus a price drop. So all these sellers that are taking price reductions right now, what else they could do is maybe pay a buyer's closing cost or paying some points, because rates have gone up. Affordability is a challenge because somebody's pre-approval, somebody's home affordability is based on that monthly payment. So if we can make that monthly payment less, that allows them to buy more or be more comfortable getting in a house. Let's take a real quick look at what that difference might be. Here in this left column, full price, no concessions. Medium price home, 6% interest rate. Their monthly payment, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, $2,250. Let's say that seller agrees to a 2% price drop. They agree to take the price down $6,500. Help the buyer out a little bit. Their monthly payment comes down $37. Their cash to close doesn't change much at all. It goes from $17,400 to $17,200. Saves $200 in the amount that they've got to bring to closing. What if the seller, instead of reducing their price by 2%, they take 2% and they buy discount points for the buyer? It's a seller concession of 2% that gets applied to reduce the rate permanently. So instead of 6%, they're going to pay. That buyer now has a 5% interest rate for the life of this loan. What that does to their monthly payment, so instead of $225 or $222 or $2,000, look over here. They're saving $200 a month versus saving $37 a month. Same $6,500 net to the seller is identical. Much bigger benefit to the buyer. Now let's see what, over a little longer term, what the benefit to the buyer is. So same $6,500 again. Over the course of 5 years, that buyer, reducing the interest rate, is going to mean that buyer is going to save almost $16,000 in interest. That's almost three times what that $6,500 got them. Versus the price drop, they would save $1,800. Let's say somebody doesn't need, that the monthly savings isn't their their hot point. Maybe their cash to close is their sticking point. So let's have them pay full price for the house, have the seller pay 2% in their closing costs. Seller can pay up to 3% on a conventional, 6% on an FHA. But let's say they don't want to be that generous. They're only going to pay 2%. So we're going to take that $6,500, and instead of buying down the interest rate or reducing the purchase price, we're going to apply that to the buyer's closing cost. It reduces their cash to close by $6,500. So now instead of needing over $17,000 to get into the house, they're getting into the house with a little shy of $11,000. Do you think this would help any buyers?
Hey, I had an important point here.
Mm-hmm.
Is that as the market becomes more balanced, some of these people who couldn't buy because of money, just like you pointed out there, will now be able to buy.
Right.
So that's going to help bring some more. But even though the interest rates are still a little higher, it's going to bring some new buyers into the market where they couldn't buy before.
Okay, so great point. But because we're qualifying buyers based on a monthly payment, so if somebody is maxing out their purchase power with a monthly payment of $2,200, if you've reduced their monthly payment by $200 because the interest rates come down, maybe they don't buy a $325,000 house. This is going to allow them to go buy a $425,000 house. So those buyers that thought they were priced out of the market that 3 months ago were looking at a $425,000 house with this seller buy down strategy, they could still be looking at that $425,000 home if the seller would be willing to pay some discount points. Seller can pay up to 3%. So they could get that rate down even lower. So now you've got buyers, if they're out looking at a certain price range right now and they don't like what they see, and maybe y'all's buyers are different than the buyers that I work with, but when I was working with buyers, they always wanted that next price range up. This would allow them to get that next price range up. They've got to be clear that this is only going to work if the seller's willing to pay some concessions and you buy that interest rate down. But you could use this as rather than reducing the purchase price, if you've got a listing that's been lingering a little bit, rather than having that conversation with the seller saying, it's time to reduce the price, maybe you change your marketing, because now those buyers that looked at the house a month ago that ruled it out because they didn't, they couldn't afford it. Now that the rates have gone up, you can go back to them and say, hey, my seller's willing to pay X number of dollars to buy your rate down. Your payment's going to be here. It makes this home much more affordable. You can put in the private remarks, seller willing to pay 2% towards buyer's discount points, closing costs with a full price offer. You've just made your home more competitive and stand out in a market where the inventory is beginning to build. It makes the homes more affordable for buyers to get in them, and it keeps more money in your pocket because you're paid based on the sales price.
I'll be sharing insightful and informative videos on stress-free retirement, being your own bank, setting up college funds, understanding Social Security, wills, probate, trust, and how the Fed Reserve rate hikes affect your mortgage rates, and always real estate solutions. I'm your go-to expert in real property. Look for my YouTube channel, living in Canton, Georgia, where it is sunny as can be right now. If you find value here, please like and share so others might as well. Remember, I'm not a videographer, not a video editor. I just want to share the most important info with you guys. Each video has a full version of around half hour or so, but there are multiple shorts of only 5 minutes or less as well. My name, Daniel Klopfelter. My area of specialty is real estate and asset protection for more than 25 years. So why am I exhorting you to view financial-based videos on a real estate channel? Good question. I believe that we all do better when we know better, which is why I'm here to expose you to a team of experts who know the topics that matter most. All of these topics work in unison. Full disclosure, I receive nothing for doing these videos other than the satisfaction of adding value to you. So smash that like button already. What are you waiting for? Share this so other people can see it. Y'all have a great day.